So this is the Swindonian interview with Craig Mawlam of the Vote Leave campaign for Brexit, the referendum on June 23rd. So Craig, as a Swindon businessman, can you talk to me a little bit about why you've opted to leave and not stay?
Well, first of all, this is my first foray into any kind of political movement, and it's going to end probably on the 24th of June. So it's it's a short spell in this, and there are personal reasons and also from a business perspective. My business is involved in manufacturing. We have been in business in this line of business now for 20 years, and 15 of those as exporters, both in the EU and outside of the EU. I've been fortunate to travel to most of the countries, developed countries in the world, and I've seen how some of those countries have accelerated while we in the UK seem to have stood still. And when you take a view of the future, then I'm more concerned about the future of my children and grandchildren than I am for myself. And so long as my business continues on the right track until the time I retire, that's the only thing that's really important to me. So I'm not really concerned about what might happen from a business perspective as we leave. But for me, it's all about sovereignty and passing on to our children what we inherited from our parents.
So since being in the EU, from a personal point of view, what do you think the big changes in the UK have been?
Well, since being in the EU, then I don't suppose we've seen that many changes, to be honest. And I think if you were to ask how this country would have been had we not joined the EU, then I don't think that it would have been an awfully lot different. We still would have mobile phones, we still would have the internet. Technology would have moved along, and it's possible that we would be better off as a nation had we not joined the EU. But we don't have that crystal ball, do we? Certainly, what I've seen is that come election time, it used to be the case when I was a young man that elections were fought on the economy and the trade deficit and all of these things connected with manufacturing and exports and things. But these days, it's pretty much limited to education and schooling. And that's just a signal to me that our own government is losing the ability to deal with those issues because we've delegated them overseas to Brussels.
From a personal point of view then, so forgetting the business side, what do you think the big changes are going to be for the Swindonian readers should we leave the EU?
Well, should we leave the EU, then from a business perspective, you're throwing balls in the air and you don't know how they're going to land. And that's the same from the Remain side. Nobody knows what the future's going to be. But one thing that we can be pretty certain of is that business will always survive despite politicians. And I think people can be pretty confident that often change brings opportunities. And I'd like to think that leaving the European Union would give us the ability to trade with more of our Commonwealth partners, with English-speaking nations, and that can only be good for business as a whole. And I don't think there is any penalty in doing that. European partners that we already trade with will continue to trade with us.